When I start out on a hike, and I know as many of you do too, often at the trailhead there is a display board. And of most use to me on that display board is that little arrow that says, "You are here." And that is what this morning is all about. We're looking at where we are. Where are we starting on this journey? Where do we want to get to? And how are we going to get there? That is our spiritual journey that we are taking together on this Yom Kippur. And though it is a day of solemnity, it is also a day of joy, because we are coming together to unburden ourselves, to grow together, to share together, and to learn together. And so we come together with joy in our hearts, and we want you to participate fully, to sing exuberantly, and to be fully present with us this morning. So we invite you to begin that process with the singing of Olam Chesed Yibaneh, which is on your programs on the very first page.
Which was the melody that you just heard. So now we're going to fit the words in. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We can build this world with love. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Ya la 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 la. I will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. And you must build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. And if we build this world from love, ya la 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 la, then God will build this world from love. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Ya la 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 la.
And we continue together in song with the song Return Again on page 2 of your Machzor.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where day's not over. Pituli sharet zedek havovam oneya. Don't be afraid to sing along. Open the gates, last night is clean. Oh, open the gates, I ask you humbly. Pituli sharet zedek havovam odeya. Hana Adonai Hoshiana. Hana Adonai Hatzlichana. Through all my days I'll pray, I'm worthy of this moment. With head bowed and knee bent, I beg that you open the gates, don't let them close. Oh, open the gates, the day's not over. Pituli sharet zedek havovam odeya. The last chance, join us. Pituli sharet zedek havovam odeya. Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Va'ed. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Rosh Hashanah Yikatevu Uvyom Yom Kippur Yechatemu Rosh Hashanah Yikatevu Uvyom Yom Kippur Yechatemu Hashanah Yikatevu Uvyom Yom Kippur Yechatemu Rosh Hashanah Yikatevu Uvyom Yom Kippur Yechatemu Mi v'haesh u'mi v'hamayim, mi v'cherev u'mi v'hayah, mi
מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה על זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, ולא לכל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ורחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני קדוש, 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 אלוהייך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה, 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 הללויה,
נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושיבה אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ושיבה אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. כי אל מלך גדול וקדוש אתה, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. ברוך אתה אדוני האלוה,
I da 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 da.
Some of us have been able to take hikes when it's really cold out, and we bundle up and put all these layers on, and as we are moving forward, getting ourselves heated up, we strip off layer by layer by layer until we get down to our base coat, or our skivvies, as I call them. That is where we are right now, stripped down, vulnerable, afraid, alone, as we admit to our wrongdoings. And so what we've done is created an al-Chet prayer that reflects all of your words, all of the truths that you regretted that took place over the past year. And as we recite them, I invite you to not be thinking about who wrote what, but rather where you find yourself in these words. And so please rise for the al-Chet. Failures of self, al-Chet shechatanu, we have turned away when envy dominated my thoughts.
I lost hope for positive change.
I let my pride get in the way.
I was lazy.
I regret not trying harder in school to do well and not having the willpower needed to set aside distractions and do what needs to be done.
Drinking too much, smoking too much, partying too much.
I need to exercise more.
For focusing too much on material and forgetting the value of the immaterial.
For lying, gluttony.
Dishonest with Nicorette.
Desiring more.
I missed the mark by not taking care of my health, prioritizing comfort and ease over well-being.
Too much time in the office and not at home.
I procrastinate.
More patient, present, appreciative, empathetic, less rushed, disconnected, agitated, judgmental.
I'm an addict, and I relapsed again, hurting people I love.
I did not take as good care of myself as I did of others.
I spent too much time and money on material things and put too much weight on their value.
I was anxious about things over which I had no control.
I could be more patient with everybody, including myself.
I could remember that often people's behavior has nothing to do with me. They have their own struggles.
Being impatient, self-centered, and influenced by self-pity, insecurity, resentments, and fears for not being grateful and humble and not being the best I can be every moment of every day.
For making excuses, blaming others, rather than taking responsibility for my own faults and shortcomings.
I wish I had more strength to not allow these things in life that are out of my control to affect me so.
Always in a rush, racing to nowhere. The most beautiful and important things in life are right in front of me.
I am afraid of what others think of me.
I shield myself with arrogance.
I don't finish projects so I won't get judged.
I doubted my own abilities and endangered my family's well-being.
To do the things I say I will do and not say I will do what I am unable to do.
I regret being so negative about the past instead of moving on and looking to the future.
I need to be true to myself.
For not being present even if I am there.
I get frustrated too quickly.
I was on my phone too much. I was present too little.
I spoke without thinking first.
I will take better care of myself and not neglect my health.
I want to trust the voice inside myself that says I am worth taking care of.
Observe Shabbat. Find more faith in Adonai.
For not always knowing the presence of God.
I lost myself at times by giving to others.
stressing so much about the uncertain future that I lose sight of the certain and incredibly wonderful present.
Not spending enough time with my dog.
I compared myself to others.
I gave in to fear. Failures of relationship. Al chet shechatanu. We have turned away. I love the excitement of speaking Lashon Hara.
Tell my wife how lucky I am more often.
Impatience, constantly rushing our 4-year-old who just wants to stop and appreciate and understand the world around her.
Not taking the time to sit and play with my kids.
I regret not making more of an effort to spend time with my sick grandmother.
I should be nicer to my brother.
For the times I raised my voice, I argued that I was right. I had to have the last word.
For the times I felt helpless with a dying patient, I could not comfort a grief-stricken parent. I could not cure a child.
I could be better at respecting other people.
I raise my voice when I don't feel heard and get louder and louder until I am.
Nagging my kids too much.
Having more patience with my teenagers, it is easy to expect them to act like adults, especially when they look the part. However, I have to remember they still have limited experience, and I need to listen and try to understand where they are coming from.
I regret judging and not appreciating myself, my children, and my wife.
For hiding my dirty clothes in the closet.
I put other people's needs ahead of my family's.
I didn't walk the dog much.
Yelling. Why do I yell, sometimes curse, at my children so much?
I wasn't nice to my brother.
I should have called my father more, missing the opportunity to ask him all the questions I always meant to, but never made time. And now he is too old and sick to answer.
I wish I had more patience for annoying people.
I expected more from my mom than I was willing to give her.
I lied to my husband.
I sometimes harbor resentment toward my husband for not helping me or with the kids, but I never tell him what I need.
I lost contact with 2 close high school friends who passed away this year.
I must remember to try to start with a clean slate when dealing with my son, instead of allowing his previous transgressions to pile up and explode in my mind.
I'm too demanding.
I regret not telling my family more how much I love them, need them, and how much they enrich my life.
For finding fault in others and being hurt when others find fault with me.
I withhold forgiveness.
I have fought with a 5-year-old.
I tended to be too busy for my father, but I need to realize that he is the only one I will get and take advantage of the time we have before it's too late.
I would like to find time and energy to stop the routines and pulls of everyday obligations and connect more deeply and meaningfully with my family.
I've been arrogant and rude to my mother.
I cursed at my child.
I've missed the mark so many times, but mostly with my family, with a failure to say, I love you, I'm sorry, be happy.
I regret not apologizing well.
I missed the mark when I was on the phone, when I should have been paying attention to my kids.
Not being a better friend to friends in need.
Feeling anger and impatience with others when they don't live up to my expectations.
I've judged others when I don't have all the facts.
I have lied to others and myself.
Listened carelessly.
Overly aggressive in traffic.
Failed to learn enough lessons from my dog.
Emotionally detached.
Oversharing my opinion.
I wasn't there when a good friend needed me most.
I shared others' secrets.
I spoke condescendingly to my husband.
saying things that put others down when was no benefit from saying it.
I should have been slower to anger and quicker to forgive.
I didn't give people the benefit of the doubt.
I bullied.
Not being able to forgive my father.
I show my struggle with the separation I feel as my spouse shows signs of aging, rather than showing my deeper love, compassion, and desire to cherish every moment we have together.
I didn't say thank you enough.
Lost patience with my 90-year-old mother.
I've taken out my frustration with my job or my children or my husband.
I acted on the urge to solve another person's problem and alleviate their pain, when what they wanted was simply for me to listen and validate their feelings.
I have not made enough effort to spend quality time with my mom. She is in her 70s, and I know our time is limited, yet I do nothing about it.
Failures of justice, al chet shechatanu, for not always coming from love and bringing love.
I didn't speak up enough.
I've texted while driving.
Failed to take responsibility for my errors.
Apathy.
I was not as aware of others' needs and suffering as I could be.
Not 100% following my moral compass when put into a difficult position at work.
Regret not making time to find a cause or someone to help.
I would like to become more aware of those around me, their feelings, their struggles, and focus less on my troubles, my issues, and my anxieties.
I need to study more for my bat mitzvah.
I used my phone too much while driving.
I did not validate the pain that I was hearing and seeing in another human being.
Spoke ill of others.
I wish I had prayed more, harder, louder.
I regret not engaging more effectively with my community.
I didn't have empathy.
I resisted prayers.
I was self-involved when I could have been selfless.
I should have given back and lived a more righteous life with more charity.
I didn't use my time as well as I could have. Who knows how long any of us has here on earth?
I didn't keep promises.
I wasted time that could have been used to help others.
For thinking of myself first.
I lack community involvement.
Every single day, mostly engrossed and entirely preoccupied with my own comfort, stimulation, ease, avoidance of any task too challenging, too giving, too a field of my own petty wants.
I regret taking joy in others' misfortune.
I wish I had done more charity.
I need to live with purpose.
Ve'al kulam.
Ve'al kulam Eloah selichot selach lanu mechalanu kapelanu.
This past year, my youngest daughter, Noah, turned 15 and got her learner's permit. So now you've all been fairly warned. New driver on the road. Sorry, Noah. As any parent who's ever taught a child to drive knows, it is a real nail-biting experience. There is so much to worry about. Crazy drivers, merging, I-95. There is this kind of universal angst amongst parents around teenage driving. This summer, I had the opportunity to participate in the NAACP's March for Justice, where I met some people who have even more to worry about when it comes to teenage drivers. I walked next to a man named Royal, whose son just got his driver's license. We shared our teen driving stories and fears, And some of the same things scared us, whether our kids would make good decisions and drive safely and stay off the roads at night. But Royal, with a black teenage son, was afraid of things that were completely foreign to me. He worried about broken headlights and broken taillights and having an updated car registration. His real gut fear was what would happen if his son got pulled over by the police. How would he handle this delicate, often racially charged situation as a bullheaded teenager? Would he come out of it okay? I have to admit, these were things I had never even thought about. These fears came home for me again when I read Brian Stevenson's searing book this past summer called Just Mercy. Stevenson is a brilliant African-American lawyer who founded the Equal Justice Initiative in Montgomery, Alabama, which provides legal representation to indigent prisoners who have been denied fair treatment. And in the book, he describes an incident that happened to him as a young man. Late one night, he was returning home to his Atlanta apartment after a long day investigating a case in which a 39-year-old man, black man, died after being arrested for a minor traffic violation. Stevenson was lucky enough to get a parking spot right in front of his new apartment building. And he stayed in his car when one of his favorite singers came on the radio. So there he was singing along to Sly and the Family Stone when he noticed a flashing police light heading toward him. And the police car was coming down a one-way street in the wrong direction toward him. And he didn't know what was going on, so he decided he better turn off the radio and go inside. As he got out of his car, the officer approaching him drew his weapon, pointed it at Stevenson's head, and said, "Move, and I'll blow your head off." Luckily, this Harvard-trained attorney fought his instinct to run. He was pushed up against his car, frisked, and questioned while his car was illegally searched and his papers strewn all over the sidewalk. Stevenson was shaking with fear. Another black man, Ta-Nehisi Coates, articulates that culture of fear in which black children are raised in a letter to his 15-year-old son. "You have been cast into a race in which the wind is always at your face and the hounds are always at your heels," he told his son. These stories opened my eyes to how the America in which my husband and I are raising our daughters is a world apart from the America where others are trying to raise their black children in safety. We take for granted what others are struggling for: voting rights, education, and criminal justice, to name a few. It may appear to be the same America, but it is not. Some of us sitting here today, many of us, were lucky enough to be born into a culture of privilege and acceptance. But we know it wasn't always this way. Our Jewish narrative reminds us of the hounds at our heels in the form of Pharaoh's army or the Crusaders or SS officers. We have fled unjust accusers time and again, and then again. Our history begins in slavery. As Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel once said, at the first conference on religion and race, the main participants were Pharaoh and Moses. The liberation journey our ancestors began out of Egypt continues today. And lest we forget that, our Passover ritual reminds us every single year, actually institutionalizes the memory with these words, Bechol dor chayav adam lirot et atzmo ke'ilu hu yatsa mimitzrayim. In every generation, a person must see himself as if he went forth from Egypt. It's not enough to remember the plight of our ancestors. Each of us is meant to feel the hounds at our heels, too. 36 times in the Torah, more than any other teaching, we are reminded to love the stranger, for we were strangers in the land of Egypt. We know what it's like to be marginal, isolated, neglected, threatened. As Jews, no matter how privileged we may become, we will never, ever lose that memory. And it's that memory that's always propelled the Jewish people to be at the forefront with freedom fighters like Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela. Their story is our story. Of the thousands of white activists who headed south during the height of the civil rights campaign to freedom rides and marches, nearly half of them were Jewish. When civil rights activist Bob Ross was a student at the University of Michigan, he joined the picket line boycotting a segregated Woolworths counter because, he said, it was the Jewish thing to do. If you're silent, you're complicit. During the civil rights movement, many rabbis were activists. Some were arrested, jailed, even beaten. Some of their homes were bombed. Some of them lost their jobs. Rabbi Joachim Prinz, who had been trained as a rabbi in Germany, spoke immediately before Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. And this is what he said to Dr. King. When I was the rabbi of the Jewish community in Berlin under the Hitler regime, I learned many things. The most important thing that I learned under those tragic circumstances was that bigotry and hatred are not the most urgent problem. The most urgent, the most disgraceful, the most shameful problem is silence. It is the silence of the bystander above all which allows evil to triumph. At that very time, the president of the NAACP was Kivi Kaplan, who was a Caucasian Reform Jew. In fact, he was the very last white president of the NAACP. So how did Kaplan, a Jewish man from Boston, come to be president of the NAACP? Well, it's an interesting story. He came down to Florida, our beautiful state, for his honeymoon. And when he attempted to go inside a country club, he was stopped in his tracks by a sign that read, "No Jews, no dogs." Stunned, he returned to his hired car. His African-American driver commiserated with him. "I know how you feel," he told him. "I'm also not allowed inside without an escort." And at that very moment, Kaplan's driver became his kin, and he understood that his journey for justice was our journey too. Many of us thought those days of ugly discrimination in America were over. That's why this year's staccato of violence from Ferguson, Missouri, to Baltimore, Maryland, to the church in Charleston, South Carolina, has been so stunning. Because rather than being isolated incidents, there is suddenly and overwhelmingly this sense that racism and bigotry are still deeply embedded in our country. After the Charleston shooting, I was struck by how the media latched on to how readily the victims' families were willing to forgive Dylann Roof. One by one, they presented themselves to him and forgave him and asked for his mercy. Indeed, forgiveness is a powerful religious response to sin. In fact, that's what Yom Kippur is mostly about. That's why we're here today. But there is another response to hateful behavior that's also religious and authentic and very, very Jewish, and that is righteous indignation. That's also part of today with the traditional Haftarah by the prophet Isaiah, who says, "This is the fast I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness, to untie the cords of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free." We stand in a long line from Abraham to Moses to Amos to Isaiah of Jews who railed against injustice, who dared to challenge even God. From Herzl to Heschel, our leaders have not been content with the status quo of oppression. Willful defiance against inequality is like encoded in the Jewish DNA. Shimon Peres even quipped that the greatest Jewish contribution to history is dissatisfaction. Peres said, "We are a nation born to be discontented. Whatever exists, we believe can be changed for the better." So where is the moral outrage from our community today? How can we sit back as others are oppressed? How can we tolerate what we know is intolerable? We Jews who are known for our chutzpah have become complacent. We may kick and scream when something affects us directly, but we turn the other way when it's not our room in the house that's burning. You know, this afternoon we'll read from the Holiness Code, from our sacred Torah scroll that was rescued from the Jewish community of Prague in flames. And there, on that holy page, we will chant the words, "Al ta'amod al dam re'echa," do not stand idly by the blood of your neighbor. Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, love your neighbor as you love yourself. These are the very words I was whispering as I held the heavy Torah in my arms, marching between Athens and Augusta, Georgia in August on the NAACP's March for Justice. I had stood idly by for too long. While my oldest daughter was being tear-gassed at protests in Ferguson, I was reading the New York Times. When Sandra Bland was hanging in a prison cell after failing to use her turn signal, I was listening to NPR. It was time to stop reminiscing about the glory days of Jewish involvement in civil rights with Rabbi Heschel marching with Martin Luther King, and time to start making history ourselves. It was time to walk the talk. For righteous indignation, my friends, is meaningless unless it leads to purposeful action. I'm so proud to tell you that when the NAACP decided to march from Selma, Alabama to Washington, D.C., to educate and advocate for civil rights and economic justice, our Association of Reform Rabbis said, "Hineni, we will be with you." Every day of the journey, a rabbi showed up, and each of us, including me, representing our congregations, it was like you were there with me. And every day of the journey, there were two visible symbols on display: the American flag and the Torah, both symbols of justice and liberty. Carrying the Torah on that long stretch of highway was so powerful. For the Torah isn't meant to be hidden behind synagogue walls. It's meant to be lived in the world. It needs to walk with us wherever we go. It transformed our march from a walk to a sacred mission. I was assigned the date of August 19th to march. It was almost a halfway point. There were hundreds of people at the beginning of the march in Selma, and I knew there would be hundreds again at the end in DC, but on that 96-degree day, there were only 24 of us. We trudged for miles, sweating in the heat and soaking in the rain. Cars and trucks whizzed by us. Minutes ticked by, and still we marched, step by step, 20 miles, slowly, methodically, moving forward. I was behind an older man named Ivan, one of 5 extraordinary people who committed to walking all 922 miles, blistered and sore, getting up at 5 a.m. every day. Despite his age, Ivan walked at a remarkable pace with his cane, tap, tap, tapping out a drumbeat for justice. And on that march over the miles, I came to realize that the entire march was this metaphor for a journey for justice. It's not just about the big I have a dream moments, those triumphs. It's also about the drudgery of the in-between moments. It is slow and hard and exhausting, especially with a 20-pound Torah to carry. You know, sometimes only a few people show up. As an elderly Rosa Parks once said to Brian Stevenson when she heard about his equal justice initiative, that's gonna make you tired, tired, tired. And Rosa Parks' friend Johnny Carr added, that's why you've got to be brave, brave, brave. And so it is with us, my friends. There is much work to be done in our great and noble country, and it's going to make us tired and sometimes discouraged. How brave will we be? In what ways will we show up? When will we reclaim our chutzpah and speak truth to power? One of the most poignant moments of the march came when Rabbi Andrea Goldstein asked a participant what she'd learned on the march. The most important thing I've learned, the woman answered, is that white people care about my people. I didn't know that before I came. How will we show that we care? You may be surprised to learn that in 1964, large sections of the Voting Rights Act were composed at a table at our Reform Movement's Religious Action Center in Washington, D.C. Since this legislation passed in 1965, granting the sacrosanct right to vote to every American citizen, the bill has been renewed on 4 separate occasions, always with bipartisan support. But 2 years ago, the Supreme Court declared that a section of the Voting Rights Act is unconstitutional, removing protections from many poor, minority, and disabled voters. States that once needed pre-clearance to change voting laws no longer do. The urgent task in front of us at this very moment is advocating for the Voting Rights Advancement Act. This would affirm the dignity of every voter. And as you exit the sanctuary today, you will see postcards which are addressed to Representatives Nancy Pelosi and to John Boehner. Sending in these postcards is one step forward we can all take together on that journey for justice. It's so easy. Please don't miss them as you exit today. Another step is to join in with Temple Beth Shalom's Social Justice Network this year, which is working toward economic justice. SJN brochures, hot off the presses, are also on the table outside, outlining all the ways that we need you. Voting rights and economic justice are both critical ways to empower those who have been marginalized in our society. And of course, we will not overlook the humanitarian crisis of refugees who are flooding Europe at this very moment, a scene that hits very close to home for us as Jews. The Religious Action Center is formulating ways that we can respond meaningfully to that at this very moment, and we will keep you informed. The liberation journey is our path as Jews. B'chol dor chayav adam lirot et atzmo ke'ilu hu yatsa mimitzrayim. In every generation, a person must see herself as if she went forth from Egypt. We recite this phrase every year, but Maimonides understands it a little differently. He adds the letter He to the word lirot, changing it to leheraot, which alters the intent of the verse. Instead of demanding that we see ourselves as if we left Egypt, it demands that we show ourselves as if we left Egypt. So how do we do that? We show ourselves as free when we continue the journey that began in Egypt, when we cry out for justice, care for the oppressed, toil for equality, when we advocate for voter rights and work to loosen the chains of poverty. This is our task. This is our sacred calling as Jews. For truly no one of us is free until all of us are free. Our exodus began in Egypt, but my friends, we are still a long way from the promised land. And God is waiting for us to march on.
If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. We may never see this moment, place or time again. If not now, every sun, every soul that's ever longed for something better, something brighter. And it will take a change of heart for this to mend. It will take a change of heart for this to mend. But miracles do happen every shining now and then. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. We may never see this moment, place or time again. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. Avinu Malkeinu Chonenu Vonenu Ki in Banu Ma'aseh. Avinu Malkeinu Chonenu Vonenu Ki in Banu Ma'aseh. Hasei Imanu Tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu. Hasei Imanu Tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu Chonenu Vonenu Ki in Banu
You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged though I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can't lose sight of it all, the darkness still inside makes you feel so small. When I see your true colors shining through, I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful like a rainbow.
Shana Tova, everybody.